Alrighty, what's going on, ladies and gents in Cyberland? Coming back to you with another game review. So this one, good old Resident Evil Remake. So I'll give you a little history. I played Resident Evil, and I think I mentioned this in the gameplay. I played Resident Evil back in, I believe, 97, 98, and it didn't look anything like this. For the most part, they really did a great job in updating everything with the monsters, as well as the scenery. The game was scarier to some extent than I originally played the original. Also, the intro was extremely done better, but I do believe back in 97, 98, I think it was more so 98, the original way Joseph, this guy right here, when he got killed, the Japanese version showed the actual scene of what happened to him. And for some reason, with the United States, I don't know what the hell their problem was, because the game was mature. You could not buy the game unless you were an adult. They didn't show that. They completely omitted that from the game, where you only saw like his face and blood splashed across the screen. That was it. So they actually did show what happened to him in here, and they kept it going. And then you go to the mansion and you start the game. As far as difficulty, there's different difficulties. I just did the one that wasn't the hardest but wasn't the easiest, because at the same time, some people be like, oh, it's do a challenge thing. I'm like, look, I got a lot of games, I got a lot of other things to do, that I just want to play the game and have a good time. I'm not trying to prove to anybody that I can beat it on super hard or super easy. I just want to have a little challenge and just have a good time. I'm a casual game player. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel and beat every game on hard that I see. I'm not I just don't have the time or the patience to continue to do that. So one thing that is different from this game with the original is that, for one, the zombies tend to be a little smarter. The scare points with them is a lot more abrupt, like as you can see this guy coming out of the bathtub. I don't think that originally happened in the original one. The other thing is, with the zombies now, if you blow their head off, then you're okay, as I did right here. But if you kill them and you don't set their body on fire, then they will reanimate, and this time they'll be faster and a lot more deadlier. Good old Enrique. Hunters are still in here. Spiders are still in here. Everything from the original when it comes to the monsters is still in here. It's just they did add this I like to call her Alice in Chains. they added that mini boss to the game that wasn't in the original. The other thing is, you did spend some more time outside. Probably, I would say probably like the backyard before you use that berry and taking out the zombie. Before you go to, I believe it's the underground, like the courtyard area. You kind of go in the backyard where there's a bunch of like almost like a cemetery and graves. That was really spooky because I'm like, look, all this scary shit in the game, and I gotta go out. And I personally would have been like, okay, I'm going outside, I'm hopping the fence and getting the hell out of here. I'm not staying in this mansion. But then at the same time, it could be they didn't do that because the dogs were outside too, you know. See, there he is. That's the reanimated zombie, and he got me. And that's the thing now. If you have multiple knives on you, or if you have flash grenades or grenades, or even tasers, if they grab you, whatever you have equipped, the Chris or Jill will they will use that on the zombie. Or I don't think I forget if I did use that on the hunter as well. For the most part, I didn't really use that. Rebecca's in here too. For the most part, I didn't use them too often because I needed the blade to check bodies on the ground. That was the main purpose I keep a blade around. Puzzles are about the same. I believe there was a room where it had like the eagle and you were trying to get the red gem and the yellow gem. It was in there. I think that was, I don't recall if that was originally in the first in the original on PlayStation. What I did, well, for the most part, I mean, they still had the normal things. There wasn't anything I didn't like with this one. I would probably give the remake, I would give it a 9 out of 10. And the reason why I don't give it a 10 is just because, and it's not necessarily, oh yeah, I remember I got stuck right here. It's not necessarily, wasn't the gameplay. However, there was something that the developers messed up on, and they should have corrected this. And this was an issue with the original one. For those listening right now, if you've never played this game, you want to play it, please stop what you're listening to because I'm about to spoil something. Originally, if you beat it with Jill, and I think this is where I got killed right here. Yep, I got killed. If you beat it with Jill, then Barry and Chris and Brad are on the helicopter and you leave the mansion. Rebecca's not there. That's a problem because she did survive. And if you switched it, then it was Jill, Barry, Chris, and Brad. I mean, it was Chris, Jill. See the Alice in Chains thing. It was Jill, Chris, Rebecca, and Brad. Barry's not on the helicopter. And you're like, how did you this situation, not to get off topic, this situation was really scary to me. How did you mess that up? So you would think with the remake they would fix that, and they didn't. It was the same thing all over again, and I'm just like, I'm sure you guys had to have been playing this game to make sure everything runs right. Did nobody tell you guys that, hey, or the tester, did nobody say, hey, such and such is missing from this scene, you need to fix that? Like, that's the reason why I knock it down, because it's been over 15 years since or not 15, but it's been a minute since between the original game and the remake. You guys should have fixed that. That's my only gripe with the game. That should have been fixed. Otherwise, I mean, Resident Evil 1 is a historical game. It's a very important game when it comes to survival horror. But at the same time, 2 is better, 3 was better, 4 was exceptionally better. I haven't played the rest of them just yet, but I'll get around to them. but they were overall better gameplay games because the way you move around and stuff. A lot of this was, as you can see, angle, 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 and for the time, you know, it makes sense. But overall, it's really dull. It's not as action orientated as the later works, which is, you know, this is fine. Story wise, is still the same. There was a lot more detail in the story. Like, some things were kind of more so answered or discussed, whereas the original not so much. Tyrant. And the other thing is how they did the Tyrant in here. Situation with Wesker and the Tyrant was a lot more detailed. And you know, it was just overall, it was good. I would say if you never played the Resident Evil, well, you know what, for if you're gonna play this, play it to get more of a history, like a game lesson, because of course the later ones were better. But overall, it's a fun game. It's just, it'll keep you on your toes a little bit, and you know, you just have a good time with it. And if you're one of those people that want to play on a harder difficulty, go for it. So with that, I will catch you guys on the next one. Ciao.